big incident this summer where everyone in our summer camp played Tetris for like 8 hours a day. I don't get any play Tetris for more than like 3.5 minutes. You see, all right, who am I putting on the spot?
right?
You're heading to that.
Okay.
All right. Then, what's the topic?
Does it look like a
No, the whole topic.
space? Just kind of
What?
space.
So it's just. That's it. Space, go. What's the topic? What is it? No, what the topic?
Read the whole sentence.
Sure. I'm gonna abbreviate a little bit. Who knows the rest? Who knows the rest? So the United States federal government should substantially increase its
The U.S. federal government should substantially increase exploration beyond the Earth's atmosphere.
kind of. Alright, I abbreviated a little bit. You can write down the full words. The topic, word for word, is resolved. The United States federal government should substantially increase its its exploration and development of space beyond the Earth's atmosphere. So the first thing you're like, oh, I got no idea what this means. It's a long sentence. So before I get into the specifics of the topic, I want to talk a little bit about what I think each part of the topic means, so then you can determine what falls under the topic and what does not fall under the topic. Like, if I built a train, do you think we should talk about that? Probably not. All right. So sort of the boundaries of the topic. What do you think the first important part of this is? The Sure. United States federal government. If it was like, France should increase its space exploration, that's probably not what we should talk about, right? And later today, we're going to talk a lot more about what the United States federal government actually means and who is the United States federal government. Is it the courts? Is it the president? Is it like him and his group of friends? Like, I don't really know. The next thing is substantially. What do you think that means? Sure. So some amount. Would you say 15? 50? How about 49? How about 48? How about 49.7? All right. So there are different interpretations of what substantially means, which could be important. So if I take $1 out of my wallet and give it to the space program, probably not substantial. Do you agree? What are they going to do with it? Like eat lunch? You can't even eat lunch with that. The next part is increase. What do you think that means? So you can't cut the funding of NASA or some other organization, right? Most important part of the resolution, exploration and/or development. What does this mean? does this mean? Anyone? If I went to explore Taiwan, what would I do? Yeah. Maybe like walk around, get lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do you think exploring space means? I mean, probably not walk around, but, you know, get in a big rocket and fly up there, right? How about if I launch like a little Mars rover to go wheel around Mars? Do you think that's exploration? Me? I personally don't think so. But that's a different story. How about development? What do you think development means? Yeah. Everyone knows what the International Space Station is, right?
Yeah.
No, does anyone not? Alright. If I were to like build a new wing of the International Space Station, that would be development. Maybe if I put a satellite in or put a new program on a satellite, that could be development. You agree? Alright. Next and last most important part. Beyond the Earth's mesosphere. Anyone learned this in science yet? The first layer? It's definitely not the first layer. Try the opposite.
Oh, that's the last.
It's the last layer. Does anyone know how far it is?
Really far.
How many? I'm not sure how many kilometers because we don't use kilometers in the United States. I think it's about 60 miles. That's a far way away, right? So like, could you buy a bunch of airplanes? No? I mean, maybe if they went beyond the mesosphere you could. But, you know, when I flew from Detroit to Tokyo, I really hope we didn't go beyond the mesosphere. I don't think I would be here. Alright, so I hear that you've talked about some things that fall under our topic for this year. What have some of those been? Yeah. SPSB. I don't know what that means. You just like yelled a bunch of letters at me. FYGW. Yeah. You just yelled a bunch of letters at me? Okay, FPSB. What's FPSB? Space-based solar power. Who here like knows what that is? Okay, who thinks that that is possible? Okay, you notice my hand is not raised. Who here really thinks you can beam a bunch of light down and like power all of the globe?
No, it's like solar power. Just like.
But the satellite gets it and then it has to shoot it down to the Earth.
Yeah, you have to try it.
Yeah, I mean we can try it all we want, in my opinion.
You can get a lot of energy.
All right. What did you say? E.T.? That was a movie by Steven Spielberg. What's E.T.? Do you believe in extraterrestrials? All right, so extraterrestrials. What about it? Come on, someone yell some more letters at me. What would do this?
SETI.
All right, SETI. What does that mean? All right, does anyone know where SETI is? It is in California. It's in Southern California, actually. Is this currently funded?
No. Yes.
It is. It's funded by like Jodie Foster.
Yeah, it's Jodie Foster.
I think it actually is Jodie Foster. So, I mean, maybe we can find extraterrestrials, maybe we can't. Maybe there's a benefit to doing SETI even if we don't find extraterrestrials, right? Here's my question to you. Does SETI follow this? debatable, right? This is my problem, right? Where is SETI located? On the Earth. So is that under the boundaries of our topic?
But you're searching for outside.
But you're exploring the space beyond the mesosphere, right? But is that a good boundary for our topic? What if I have a pair of binoculars and I'm like, dude, look at the stars? Right? Maybe not the best thing. What else have you? Yeah. Mars colonization. Who thinks this is possible? Better answer. Yeah. Why would this be good? Who's seen the movie Armageddon? That's probably before your time. It's a Bruce Willis movie. You should go look it up. It's kind of cool. What if an asteroid hit the Earth? Dude, okay, if an asteroid was coming now, could we stop it?
No.
Who said yes? Who said yes? What do we use? Do I like think it away? That would be a terrible idea. Let's launch all of our nukes randomly into space and see what happens. You can try that, and I'll try to Mars colonization when that happens. All right, what else do you think is under the topic that maybe you haven't talked about? What else? Think of it. What else could be under this? Yeah. All right. So I've been tricking you this whole time. The whole time. My spelling's terrible. Satellite X. All right. It's not actually called Satellite X for all of you that thought it was. It's a group of satellites that I thought were important for you to learn before you sort of advance any further. Right? So it's not called Satellite X. All right?
Group of satellites.
Someone name me a satellite. No one? Sirius? Like the XM satellite? Maybe. Sputnik? Sputnik's definitely a satellite. Surprised you know what that is. Who can think of a current one? How about this? Has anyone heard of this? The Hubble Space Telescope? It's in space. It's a space-based telescope.
Isn't Kepler also in space and is newer than Hubble?
Yes, they're actually, they have a new one that's built called the James Webb Space Telescope that we'll talk about in a little bit. And that was built 10 miles from my house. All right? So we're going to talk now about a group of satellites.
Yeah, Miss Jessie, PDA Wi-Fi doesn't work.
All right,
Everybody works for a lot of other people's.
two groups of satellites. Two groups of satellites. I'm going to yell some letters out at you.
PDA Wi-Fi stuff.
You don't need internet right now, Ethan. You should be taking notes.
EOS, what does this mean? Exploration of space? No.
Earth orbit satellite?
It's called Earth Observing Satellites. Earth Observation Satellites. What do you think this does? Yeah. So, you know, we put it in space to just watch you. We have to have a lot of satellites to do that. Yeah? Can anyone think of one? Yeah.
Google satellite.
Google Earth. Probably. Google Maps, they drive around in cars for Google Maps, yeah. GPS, global positioning satellites. Definitely Earth observation satellites. So they can do a variety of things. They just, like, it's not just a picture. Alright? So we're going to talk about the general category of Earth observation satellites. And we're going to talk specifically about 2 different kinds of Earth observation satellites that I know a lot about. I've probably spent all of my time since August researching these 2 kinds of satellites. So I know a little bit about it.
Little bit.
And you can question me about this because when I look up evidence for this kind of stuff, I email the person that writes the article.
Oh.
So one of our evidence authors who we'll talk about, actually I turned him down, but he invited me to a NATO conference in Halifax, Canada in July.
Wow.
Just because him and I have emailed each other 60 times. And he is the head science and technology advisor for the US Coast Guard. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about the satellites constellation that I emailed him about. MDA. MDA. Not the NBA. LeBron James is going to walk through the door right now. Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin's hurt now, though.
Yeah. Really?
Yes. MDA is my nice abbreviation for Maritime Domain Awareness. Now I'm going to give you about 15 seconds right now to think about what you think that means. Right? Not like talking to your bro, like, you know, what are you having for lunch? Maritime. What's maritime mean? The sea. So what does domain mean? Area. So the sea area. What does awareness mean? Yeah, so awareness of the sea-based area. So I'm going to let you in on a little hint here. If you have a ship or a boat that's big enough, so let's say I have a boat. This is going to be terrible. Alright? Let's say you have a boat. If your boat is big enough, like 100 feet or something like that, you have to have this little thing on your boat. It's normally in the front. Alright? It's called, I'm going to yell more letters than you. AIS, not Asian.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's called the Automatic Identification System. What do you think that means? So let's say she had an let's say this was like her automatic identification system. She's holding it right now. I've got a little, radar thing circulating, and I can see on a map, it'll be like, what's your name? It'll be like, yup, that's Charlene in the ocean right there. I know where Charlene is. Why might that be important? Yeah.
Someone will be lost in the sea.
Okay, someone could be lost. What else?
Missing persons.
All right, what's your name? Oliver. What happens if Oliver's going this way and Charlene's going this way? Crash. So I can be like, Charlene, hang a left, don't hit Oliver.
It's over.
Right? What else? Who knows where Somalia is? Yeah, where is it? It's on the east coast of Africa. Good. What do people do there? Or some people, not all of them. Pirates. What if, I don't know, what if I was the pilot of that ship and I was transporting like 300,000 iPads? Yeah, I would probably pirate that. What would happen? Do you think someone might want those?
Yeah.
Right, so they steal the ship. So let's say Charlene's ship gets stolen, right? And it's veering all over the place because the pirates don't know how to drive the ship. They'll be able to track that and be like, what's going on? There's something wrong with your ship.
What is the pirate doing go crazy?
I don't know. What else do you think this could do if I can track ships? Who can track the ships? Okay, here. I'll give you an example right now of why this is important. Alright? I really don't know how to draw Asia, I'm sorry. Okay, let's say I got a ship right here. Alright? I got a ship right there.
It's so big. It's bigger than Taiwan.
Alright. How do you think I currently track this? Look at you. Alright, I'm gonna stand on Taiwan, look east and be like, oh, I see a ship. No. They have stations on the ground right now. They can track it. Does that make sense? Do you think there are gaps in the radar? Right? What happens if I'm here? Well, actually, that would be where South America is. What if my ship's there? There's no detection capability for it. Yes. What if I had a satellite here that could get a huge picture like that? Do you think that'd be cool? Yeah, you would need more than one satellite, but it would be beneficial, right? Alright, does Taiwan have a navy?
Yeah.
It's not good? I really don't know. The United States right now, their navy is shrinking. Now, that might not matter because our navy is so big, but our navy can't patrol the whole globe, right? If I have pictures of the whole Earth from satellites, what do you think I can do? Do you think I can cooperate with people? I'll be like, hey, I'm the United States, Taiwan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, everyone come, have a global navy with us. That'd be good, right? We'd have less ships and we could sort of increase our cooperation with other people. Why might this be important? Yeah.
Because you don't want people fighting you.
Yeah. What is the main thing that's transported on the ocean? Stuff that's traded, right? So, has anyone heard of the Straits of Malacca? Or the Straits of Hormuz? I think the Straits of Malacca is like not terribly far from here. Right? Major trade routes that could be shut down if something happens to them. So we could secure this with satellites through me cooperating with her, if we were countries. All right? Does anyone have any questions about this type of satellite? Yeah.
Doesn't it cost a lot of money?
I don't know. Really don't know. It'd probably be cheaper than going to Mars. Yeah.
So this type of satellite, you're talking about satellite X?
Well, that satellite X was just like a bunch of different satellites that I thought were important for our topic. This is one of them. I have two more that I'm going to talk about. It's called Maritime Domain Awareness Satellites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is already being done by the U.S., this is under the umbrella of the U.S. National Security Council, so wouldn't people argue that this is already being solved by the status quo since it's already being done?
That's a very good question. Right now, there are a bunch of private companies that do this, but the Navy and the Coast Guard do not do it. There's a company called Exact Earth, which sells this technology to nations, but there's a lot of good evidence that says that the mechanism for providing the data that you see has to be free, because there are countries who can't economically afford it. Yeah.
Wait, so the three satellites you're going to talk about is MDA, AIS, and
NDA is the only one you've heard so far.
Okay.
AIS is just the tracker on the ship.
What if they break it?
What if they break? Flip a coin, roll a dice. It happens. Alright, I want everyone to stand up and take like a 30-second break. So like